Hi, everyone. Welcome to Over 40 and Loving Every Minute. You know what? My guest today there's really no introduction about really who she is. I mean, she's pretty damn fabulous, even at 73 today. But we all know her from Three's Company, Miss Christie, the thigh master that I actually have and stare at and thinking that I'm actually going to do it while I'm in my studio working at times. And it just looks at me. So it just says, hi, Christy, or Suzanne now, actually. Hi, Suzanne. And I haven't used it yet. But this woman, I mean, she's got it. You know, she's on her 27th book. She just written a new way to age. She has beaten breast cancer at the age in her 50s. She was diagnosed. How do I introduce you, Miss Suzanne Somers? So I'm going to go, welcome. So welcome to Over 40.
Thank you so much.
You know, I'm so happy you can be here today. I mean, you got a lot of things going on here, you know. So tell me a little bit more about you so our guests can really know. I mean, a lot of our guests actually know who you are, and we've grown up watching you. But, you know, you've experienced a lot. And now you've come out with this new product besides your book, Gut Renew, which I cannot wait to try. I don't drink a lot of milk, so I will definitely try it in coconut water since I do love that. So
yeah, coconut water, coconut milk or almond milk.
Right. I was reading through some of these recipes and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to try this because, you know, we all have that gut as, you know, we age. I mean, we age. That's just the cycle of women. And, you know, but at 73, I mean, talk to me. What are the secrets? I mean, you got
74 now.
Oh, okay, 74.
74 and a half.
Okay, well, you know what? 74. When is your birthday?
October 16th. So
okay, I'm September.
Okay,
I'm September, so, you know, but I'm not I'm not there yet, but you know what I'm talking about. We're still maintaining and how to be ageless, and I know you got a lot of good products and a lot of really great things to talk about today. So, Suzanne, it's all yours.
The reason I wrote a book called A New Way to Age is that there is. When I first started writing books, my husband just brought me a tequila. This will be an interesting show.
Oh, honey. Wait. I got to tell you something. We were going to wait till later, but my husband and we brought your Patron because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So let's okay, listen, cheers.
Cheers. And my dinner's in the oven, so
okay, so we can have our cheers of our tequila. You know, I got it. So there you go. Let's go.
Top of the morning to you. Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to talk about tequila and love towards the end because I know that's a very special, something fun that you do at the time. So let's really get down to this book.
Okay. Well, here's, in a nutshell, my book, A New Way to Age, is that there is a new way to age. And you have to understand that aging is about worn out parts. Now, if you had a Maserati, you would listen to the engine of the Maserati, and if anything didn't sound right, you'd take it to a mechanic right away. You wouldn't let it run itself down. We take better care of our cars than we take care of our bodies. And so what I'm trying to teach people is listen to the language of your body. So the first thing that declines, the first parts that wear out are your hormones. They're only intended to last 45 years at most so that you could have children and then die off so that, you know, make way for the new, young, healthy ones. But science has gotten involved and they've learned how to extend life. We get this great life extension. It's very normal now to live into your 90s, very normal. But what they haven't thought about is quality of life. And that's all I write about, is quality of life. How do you, like here I am at 74. I know I'm chronologically old, but I'm not old. And the reason I'm not old is I have my juice. I've got hair. I've got shiny hair. I've got thick hair. I've got, when I take my clothes off at night, I like looking at my body. It's not all wrinkled up. It's because when you put hormones back in the right ratio, and my books explain through doctors how to do that. I don't give advice ever. You get to feel like you again. And in many ways, you get to feel better than you've ever felt before, because with all the stress in today's world, I doubt that anybody is hormonally balanced ever anymore. And, we were talking earlier about the gut. We're under the greatest environmental assault in the history of humanity, from everywhere, from what we put on our skin, what we put into our Patron Silver. I feel like with my tequila, it kind of kills all the germs in there. But it's really easy to understand what happens. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to spray poison on our food, but somewhere 30, 40 years ago, they decided to do that. And then they decided to genetically modify our food so that when we eat this good food, our body doesn't recognize it as, oh, I can use that for this and it can use that for that. And then with worn out parts, do you know where your stomach is? Most people think the stomach is right here.
Oh, no, it's not right there.
The stomach is right under the left breast.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
And so when you eat food, it's right here. There's a gastric sphincter, and it's got to take a left-hand turn to get into the stomach. And when you have hydrochloric acid, which you make when you're younger, just like you make hormones when you're younger, it digests your food and it sends this out here and that out there, and the bones can use this, and your hair can use that, and your skin can use this. But most people stop making hydrochloric acid way sooner than they used to, so they're not getting the good nutrition out of their food. And then it's got to make a right-hand turn into the small intestines, and then it gets all stuck in there because nothing's working right. So we've been off track, and I actually understand how the body works. In fact, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was keynote speaker for a global doctors conference of 3,000 doctors, and I was teaching them what I know about hormones. And it's pretty arrogant of me to say that, but they didn't learn it in medical school. In fact, in medical school, they do not teach nutrition. They do not teach hormonal replacement. What they do teach is give the women, when they start complaining about menopausal and hormone decline symptoms, give them this Premarin. Premarin is synthetic estrogen and progesterone. It's made from pregnant mare's urine. A horse has 34 estrogens, none of which are compatible to the human female. So now we're confusing our body again, and that's why women go on those hormones. They get fat and they get bitchy and they have no sex drive and they can't sleep. I, at 74, sleep 8-9 hours every night. I have a robust sex life. I'm not wrinkling badly. I'm wrinkling, but not badly. It's not something I sit in the mirror and fret over. I am enjoying this chapter of my life. I wouldn't say more than any of the others, because I've been lucky for the last 40, 50 years. I've enjoyed each of those decades. But this one took me by surprise. I thought in my 70s I'd be old and I wouldn't like it. I like the way I look. I like the way I feel. I like my energy. I like that I've got juice. And it's all because I have listened to the language of my body, put back in the exact ratios that I need, whether it be hormones, nutrients and minerals, and create balance. The body's a system, and it all works on balance. And when you get it balanced, you feel right. That's why you're sleeping. That's why you're in a good mood. So I'm kind of fun to live with. And then I put my husband on hormones about 20 years ago, and he's fun to live with. So we're having our best life. It's great.
I really truly believe as we age, as again, over 40, loving every minute of it, because back then, we really didn't know how hormones or, how the process of aging really was going to happen. Some people, I love that I'm, 56. And, yes, I look in the mirror, I'm like, I have my wrinkles, I have, it is what it is. But when you know your body and you know what's wrong, and when something hurts you, you know how to correct it. And you're just literally giving these women, because look how fabulous you look, that out there a little bit more push to say, look at me, I'm fabulous. And you know what, I studied this. I went through everything everybody else is going through, but I worked with certain doctors to show them, because I think today a lot of women or men know a lot more about really what's going on in their body, that they can tell them, because they don't know how we feel. They don't know if this hurts us or that hurts us. It's because it's really what we feel, and we're trying to explain to them. Yes, do we want it to be fixed? Is the pill an answer? Absolutely not. You know, I mean, is food the answer? Absolutely. Eating correctly, eating for what your body is, you know. So, I mean, I completely believe in everything that you are teaching us today, and are going through. I really can't wait to like get a lot of. I know you have a lot of, especially in the Renew thing. You have a lot of recipes, even about eating healthy, you know. And it's again, as you said, and also in your processed foods are the worst that any woman can eat. If you want to not have a gut, don't eat that.
Well, you know what happens when you eat processed food, food sprayed with pesticides, genetically modified food, gets into your GI tract. The GI tract is the length of a tennis court if you unwound it, all the intestines and everything, the length of a tennis court. And that's called your barrier wall. So when these chemicals get in the GI tract, they want out. So they eat little holes through that barrier wall, calling leaks. And that's what leaky gut is. Those chemicals now are in your bloodstream, and they go on a rampage. They like fatty organs and glands, and their favorite organ is the brain, because that's 65% fat. When the chemicals make their way up into the brain, the hypothalamus and pituitary, has to shrink to make room for the chemicals. The more chemicals you take in, the more the brain shrinks. The more chemicals you take in, the more the brain shrinks. Now, think about the epidemic right now of dementia, Alzheimer's, but go younger. Think ADD, ADHD, OCD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, all these initials afflicting our young kids because they have gotten the worst of it. See, I grew up on organic food because there was no, everything was organic. And so the chemicals came into my life later on, and I still got cancer. These young kids, two of my grandkids have ADD, ADHD, OCD. I'm thinking of my other granddaughter who's got terrible gut problems. They've all got gut problems. That's why we created this Gut Renew. And because all I kept hearing from my constituency was, I'm bloated, I'm constipated, I can't hold my stomach in, I can't lose weight, I've got all this unexplained weight gain. And so what we did was devise a smoothie powder. Sounds like nothing, right? But everything that's in it is something that you or I didn't have today. Marshmallow root, Jerusalem artichoke, fermented pea, protein, it goes on and on and on. And what this does is it works like, think spackle. So you got all these little holes from the chemicals, eating holes in your barrier wall. You drink this smoothie, it starts spackling up the leaks, like you're putting it on a wall that has, a roof that has a leak in it. And after a while, that's what we did the first one, the 30-day gut challenge. You have one in the morning. We only have one in the morning, but for the people who really wanted to clean out their gut, they were having one in the morning, one in the afternoon, then a regular dinner. All I kept hearing from people was they've never pooped like that before. They've lost weight. It wasn't designed to make you lose weight, but they're losing weight because the stuff is staying inside and cleaning up. And when you start cleaning out your gut, you can't imagine all the backed up stuff you have in there. And that's what makes you feel, which is always described to me as dog tired. You know that I'm dog tired all the time? That's because your body's using so much energy trying to push this food that's all stuck in your intestines, and then the intestines lose their motility. They start twisting, trying to push the food out, and then once it's twisted, then the food won't even go through. It's like trying to shove food through, a little tube like that. So, the biggest hit I had as an entrepreneur was the Thigh Master. It initially sold over 10 million units, and it's still selling, and it's been, 20 or 30 years.
Right.
The Gut Renew powder, we just, in the last month, I don't want to exaggerate, I know we ordered 20 tons, and then we ordered another 24 tons, and then we ordered another 22 tons. So that's about 75, is that 1,000, Ellen? Tons? 75 tons. I'm not good at math. That's a lot of Gut Renew powder, but it's I can't keep it in stock. I've got it on a boat right now, coming over here, and I love the concept of doing well while doing good, because we all are, capitalists and like to make money, and entrepreneurs and like to have a hit.
Hmm.
But when you can have a hit and do good at the same time, it's very satisfying.
That's
It
just.
tastes great. It tastes great.
I have really. I was looking through all these recipes, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this one and the coffee one. I thought, okay, I can
Yeah,
have that for coffee because in the morning I do drink a cup of coffee, and this that.
yeah,
But I do want to tell you, I am completely dyslexic, and when back then there really was nothing to do, and I got made fun of and this and that. And to this day, you know what? I'm still completely dyslexic and I don't care. And then I can make fun of myself going, yes, yeah, no, yeah, I can't pronounce words all correctly. And I am horrible in math as well, just to let you know. My
yeah.
daughter is ADHD and she's completely dyslexic, and then today, for children, now COVID is now the kids are going back to school, but before then they had their special classes. They had special ways of teaching children to understand, opposed to us growing up going, who, okay, whatever. And I got made fun of my whole life, or got called stupid because I misspelled a word or didn't know how to pronounce it. But I always thought, you want to go ahead, look at me now, you want to call me stupid?
Yeah, I was going to say, you showed them.
Exactly, right? So did you. But okay, besides that, I know you recently had a horrible accident. And I know
Yes.
you look at necks. Necks were a really big thing, back, we all look at our neck. But you had a neck accident? You had something that happened?
I fractured my hip, and it was just about healed. And I'm waiting at the top steps of our bedrooms, about 20 steps down to the courtyard. I was waiting for Alan to walk me down. He took my hand and he slipped on a boulder and he went down, and I went down on top of him. So on top of my fractured hip, I broke my neck and I broke my spine and jostled and really injured my jaw.
Wow.
And I spent most of this year in bed. Now it's the pandemic. If there was a year you had to stay in bed, this was a good year. My husband went to bed with me. My husband did everything for me, everything. Think about what we need to do for ourselves during the, he did everything for me. He was so tender, so caring. And even though I was in terrible pain, there was such love between the two of us that we would look at each other and go, but we're happy. We were happy. So recovering from a neck injury is long. I do physical therapy every other day, and probably because before this, I did yoga every other day for 19 years. So my body is strong and it's all coming back. My legs have come back, my arms, my muscle memory is coming back. And, you can get through anything. But if you got somebody who loves you the way I'm loved, and it sounds like you and Donald have a great thing. I can't believe you're married to Donald.
I know, right? But
I don't even know him all that well. I just remember I had just moved to Los Angeles to be with Alan, and I walked into Donald Pliner's shoe store, and there was Donald, and he was the sweetest man I'd ever met.
You know what? He still is.
Yeah, I bet. That couldn't change. Yeah.
But I got it.
Great designer, great shoes.
Yes.
I thought I still have some of his shoes.
Okay, well, if it has the Donald J in the middle, then those are really Donald Pliners, because we've gone on and sold and blah blah, and they changed it.
Well, I used to say Donald J. So.
Yes, but I will let you know that regarding necks and hips and back and a lot of surgery, and thank God, yes, I did have my Donald as well to be there and help me. I had a horrible car accident maybe about 4 years ago. I was going on 5. A woman ran a red light. My neck is completely disc. It's all disc. It's all disc. It's not fused, but I have all replacement disc. I have lower back disc. I have 2 screws in my shoulder. I'm right there with you, honey. But and basically after you do one surgery, you do one surgery, you do one surgery. It's a lot of time in bed, and you can't move. I would say I don't even know what was worse, my neck or my stomach. But for the back, lower back. But recently, now after everything heals, I literally am going back in. There's one disc that was not replaced that I literally have to go back and replace it. I mean, I think I'm having the bionic neck, and then I have to go get a screw put into my hip and I have a tear. So I'm right there with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I'm so sorry you're going through this because I actually know how you feel, and I've never appreciated how well my body worked before this. Did you?
No, but right. I mean, I haven't worked out in years because I couldn't. Either I'm in a hospital or in a hospital bed at the house, either recovering or then going to the next and then recovering and then recovering. And then I mean, I'm lucky that my husband and I, we go on walks and that keeps me busy. Or I would say, am I hyperactive?
Yes.
Okay, he tells me I'm hyperactive. So I think that helps a lot to burn energy. But, do I miss? Yes, I miss completely working out. And then to think now, I got to figure out when I'm going to go back in to do all this. That's like, so I will definitely have a lot of reading. I can definitely have time to read your book.
Yeah. The idea of more surgery for me is just overwhelming. They had said something about the rod in my leg was a little too long or something. I thought I can live with this. I don't want any more surgery because the thing with surgery, as you know, is, and I only resort to pharmaceutical medicine when absolutely necessary. Most of the time, I take the natural equivalent of whatever I need. But when you have pain, like you have pain, you have to take painkiller. And there's always the worry that you might get hooked on that painkiller.
Oh, yes.
So I worked really hard in this last year. They gave me, I'm sure you too, gabapentin, right?
Yes, take that every day.
Oxycontin, right? And oxycodone, right?
No, I don't take any of that. I'm allergic to that.
Okay, well,
so I take the gabapentin, and I take baclofen. And then
nerve damage?
I'm sorry, nerve damage. Well, I had to recently go in and deaden all the nerves. Like on my lower back. Like I think 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, they did that, and then they
I'm so sorry.
No, I get you. I mean,
yeah.
But then again, hey, we're fabulous. Pain's not gonna let us go down, but that's the other thing. I'm one of those that I don't like to show my pain. I'll show it to my husband. My husband's going to take care of me,
Right.
I don't like, as you, I'm
would
sure.
think he would.
Right. Because you know what? I mean, I think as you and I, we show pain or being in a public eye, there's a lot of cruel people out there and they want to see that. So you're never going to see a picture of me in pain because I just won't show it, but it's there. And I'm sure you've had your moments. Thank God for tequila. I mean, I take sometimes 1,000 milligrams literally of Tylenol if I'm really, really in pain. I really try to stay away from everything. I've been on it for so long. And again, thank God I don't take anything with codeine because I'm completely allergic. So it's another way to strive through that. And, I do a lot of art. So I do a lot of art projects that keeps me calm, and it keeps me, not to think about it. But
weaning off of these drugs is its own kind of animal. You got to do it real slow, otherwise you really suffer. You can't go cold turkey. You just got to keep lowering and lowering. I'm down to 10 milligrams a day of painkiller, which is not a lot, but I'm still not able to give it up completely. So I have that, and I have a tequila at 5 o'clock. But today I'm starting a little earlier.
Oh, I'm right there with you, sweetheart. I got my tequila in my hand right now with you.
Tell me about your husband. Does he still make shoes?
You know what? He's not. He basically.
That's a shame.
I know he's retired in that field, but I know he wants to go back. Retire. Well, come say.
The thing is,
there he is. There's Donald. So.
Hi, Donald. Oh, wow. That has to be 50 years ago. 50. When you have a talent like you do for design, it's kind of not right that you're not still designing. I just want to tell you that. Well, there's room in the market for Donald J. Pliner shoes again.
I can only tell you, unfortunately, I resigned too early, and I started to go back, and it's been a constant litigation because we gave up our name. And believe me, I know exactly what you're saying, and I never appreciated who I was until just recently going through everything. And I'm trying to put together a book about all the different things I did from Donald Pliner, Right Bank. It doesn't matter who it was. But, the key to my success was always comfort. It was always styling, and it was always quality. And that's what I try to do in my life. But it's difficult. So, but I certainly appreciate
what I
what you have to
remember
say.
about your shoes is I think I have nice legs, but your shoes took my legs to another whole place. I used to get commercials for my legs. It was usually because of your shoes. Can't you find another name? Did you give away Donald J. Pliner? Or can you do Pliner shoes or Donald shoes?
Nothing.
Because we don't care the name. We just want your design. It's
I
so
know. He gave away everything.
You knew me at Donald Pliner. My first stores were Right Bank, which was in the 70s.
Right.
And so I started Right Bank all over again, and then I got all this press, and then the press people, the company I sold to, thought that I was the one that did the press, so I went into a huge litigation, and unfortunately, it was just it was frightening for 2 years how much litigation I went through. But
isn't it amazing with lawsuits? No one wins. No one wins.
Yes, the lawyers.
Well, the lawyers won.
The lawyers win.
Yeah, the lawyers always win. I'm in the first lawsuit of my entire career, which I won't bore you by going into it, but and I'm in the right. I am. I didn't do anything wrong. They did. I doubt we're gonna win. I doubt we're gonna win. I know the lawyer fees are already more than we hope to get out of it. So it's a pain in the butt to sue someone, but sometimes you have to sue when it's right. And I just wish, why don't you just find another whole name for your shoes, because you're so talented.
Well, thank you.
Well, maybe we can work something with you. You have the name. Donald can design with you and create.
You never know.
You never know. We can create something special. I also had a fabulous shoe collection as well, and unfortunately, I can't use my name as that for shoes either. So it's a horrible thing, and I don't think a lot of people know when sometimes you sell your name or you give up something that is who you are, as your identity, and then they take it and they I don't know, do you say abuse? Is that the right, can you say that? They abuse the product, or they abuse what you've created your whole life, and you can't go back. And I know a lot that you have said and you've written, mentally and physically, it does a lot to a person, and it's just really hard. And again, as I said, you're never going to see me frown or sweat, because I can't. That's really who I am. That's how you are. Okay, so.
But I think we're in a different market today, in that you can have one-hit wonders. Like we have a dress that we did called the swingy dress. Because when I was on the Home Shopping Network, the name of my line was Hip, Sexy, but Not Desperate. And we did a lot of cover your butt tops and cover your butt kind of dresses and things. So the swingy dress, it's got a low V, because cleavage, as you get older, because your breasts aren't as high as they used to be when your V is low, it makes your breasts look more voluptuous. So they don't know why their breasts look so good, but they do. And then it hides their hips if they're big, and then it's swingy on the bottom, and it's got pockets, and you can have attitude. When you have a one great item, you can sell 1 million of them real easy. And we've got a t-shirt dress that we're coming out with now that hangs off one shoulder and kind of ties at the bottom, and kind of that dress you just want to put on with or without a bra, and it looks really good. So, and you hope you have another hit like that.
Exactly. And I want to hang out in that backyard of yours with that dress,
Look how I was wearing here.
I know, right?
I've been in this house for 45 years.
Wow.
I know.
It looks absolutely gorgeous. Might have to take it. Dawn and I might have to take a drive out there. I get it, because as we both old. When you have designed things or created things, obviously you create it around, your experiences or your body or something you would wear.
Yeah, what do I want?
Right. As I think Donald, oh, my little girl is going crazy here. I don't know why, but I think as Donald or I, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You put in who you are to create. Yes, I wanted those thighs. That was, and yes, look, I have a sweater with one shoulder, or you create who you are,
Yeah.
your product, because this is what you believe and this is what you've gone through and this is your
Yeah.
experience, and you show it in another way, whether it is in your book or the gut renew. I mean, or from, why are you taking my tequila away?
Like, excuse me.
He's taking my tequila
I'm not
away.
taking
Is
it
he
away.
actually?
I'm
Okay.
putting the
Oh,
little girls
okay.
down so
But
she doesn't
anyway,
have to come over.
so you, as I understand you and a lot of your experiences, because I mean, I've gone through some of them, but as a designer and as you are a designer, whether it's a book or it's a product, and I definitely want to talk about your skin products because I gotta try those. I've looked everything up, but
Thank you.
everything is really what you're selling is you're selling yourself. You're selling who you are, and you believe in who you are, and that is why at 74 and a half, I mean, look at you. You've created. Yes, any women can be like this, and that's why I named it Over 40 and Loving Every Minute, because if we can teach everyone younger to know the things that we didn't know, because God knows I didn't know a lot about my hormones when I was so young. I mean, my mom didn't teach me that. She had a hysterectomy really early.
She didn't know.
She didn't
They didn't
know.
anything.
And then
Their doctors didn't
right.
know.
No. And then
there's a song, a Sinatra song, "The Best Is Yet to Come."
Yes, I love that song.
I thought, yeah. You know what? If you reach my age and you've taken care of yourself,
mm-hmm.
and you've fed yourself right,
mm-hmm.
and you've thought right, and you've loved right, and you've been grateful, and you're not all pilled up, which I'm not.
Me either.
There's a wisdom that comes from being in a body that's in balance that allows you to see life from a new perspective. I call it the aha moments. And the problem today is, what does this planet need now more than anything? Wisdom, right? And there is none. It's like we're watching the news at night and we're thinking there is no wisdom anywhere, because by the time people reach an age where they can access their wisdom, it starts to pour. They're so filled up that it doesn't manifest.
Right.
So what I'm finding at this age is I have perspective, which is something no young person can buy or have, and I have this innate wisdom where I don't sweat the small stuff anymore. I live a calm life. Gratitude's a big deal. It's a big deal. Be grateful. You with your broken neck and me with my broken neck. Be glad that we can walk at all and that we, have love in our lives. So if you keep looking for the good rather than what's bad, I believe with all my heart that the brain believes everything you tell it. So if you tell it you are happy and you're in love and you're grateful, the brain goes, okay. Conversely, if you say, I hate this and I'm angry at that and poor me and all that, the brain goes, okay, you can have that. So I choose gratitude, and every night at 5 o'clock, every night, I have my tequila with Alan Hamill. We call it our date. We have a bar out here called Big Al's Bar. And 2 of those nights I have my Facebook Live shows, and that's where all these women come. Right. And they drink with us, and I teach and talk, and we laugh, and we listen to music, and we dance a little, and this is the stuff of life. Right now, do you want to travel? You don't want to travel right now. It's awful. Awful to leave our country. Everything is so fraught with, you have your vaccine, this, and TSA and all. I don't want to go. I've seen it.
Right.
I've seen the world. I like being here on this beautiful property that we bought 45 years ago when I was on Three's Company, and I needed a place to bring my kids where they could get out of the glare of the paparazzi, because at that time, being on Three's Company, which was the #1 show in the country when it mattered, because at that time there was only CBS, NBC, and ABC. That was it. Three choices at night. And the #1 show, what it did for me was incredible. But when I leave my house in the morning, I lived in Venice, California, paparazzi everywhere. On the beach side, paparazzi cameras in the window. We lived at the beach with a beautiful view, and we had to close the drapes. So we bought this property because I didn't want my kids to think that my life was their life. I didn't want to give away their anonymity because they didn't know what it was. And they get mad at me sometimes when we'd go out and I would ask the paparazzi, you can take all the pictures you want of me, not of my kids, okay? And we get in the car and they go, what? And I go, because you don't even know what anonymity is, and you have to be old enough to want to give it. And when you want to give it away, it's great. So we brought them here so that they could climb rocks and eat dirt, and this has been the best purchase of our life.
Well, I also think, you know, as I do, I mean, we have great husbands. And
Yes.
I think our husbands, I mean, Donald's 77. So, you know, I mean, look at him, you know, at 70, you know, he's fabulous. And I think
He always was.
when you, thank you.
You know what? I don't call myself getting older. I think we're getting younger, because as we get younger, we're learning more about ourselves.
Yeah,
And so
I agree with you, Donald.
I don't think
It's-
age has anything to do with what we do. It's our mind.
Right.
It's our mind that makes us young, and our mind that makes us older.
And that's what I'm gonna say, because you know what, you've gone through so much. I mean, I watched Three's Company as a kid growing up, you know, and you were my favorite character. But it's not even that. It's like that. Like I said, I was trying to say with our great husbands and this, they have been there with our journeys, and that if a woman out there today can find that right person that can be with you and not change you and direct you or give you the advice or help you through your journey, or you help him. I mean, that's, you know, that's the way life should be, because then you will stay young, or you will love yourself more. And you know, like even with like our daughter, you know, her name is
How
Star.
old is she? How old's your daughter?
She's 16.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you have a baby.
And she's actually adopted on top of it. So,
Wow.
right.
Oh,
So,
how great. What a lucky little girl.
but you know, it's hard because she also feels, you know, she can go to school, and then, you know, teachers or parents are like, oh my God, is that your dad? Is this and that? And it's very hard for her to understand, you know, and she hates it, you know, in her own way. And I'm like, you know, I tried to teach her, said, you know, it's a good thing, Star, that, you know, teachers or people recognize, because they help. He does a lot of good for feet, you know, and you know, and charity, and you know,
get over it.
right, and a lot of big charity.
The great life she's living is because of what you two do.
Right, but it's a little difficult because, you know, 16, you got to find your own self. You're going through your own, you know, so, and it's and COVID, I mean, it's a hard time, you know, for any mother out there, you know, at this point, you know, they, you know, but like. But particularly for children, as Donald's saying. But like, as you said, I mean, you know, the quality of life and how you've just created your quality of life you're offering out there today. Like, look at me. I mean, it's free. Listen to me. It's not like, you know, you got to go take a pill for this and that. I mean, I'm giving you the best advice that we could ever, you know, have. And I mean, wow, I'm so lucky to have you on my show today to really, you know, talk about this, because it is a big thing. I mean, women go through a lot and they keep a lot to themselves, you know, and they're afraid. And, you know, like I said, some are alone. We're very lucky. You know, we have that husband that cares and wants, as much as they want to do for us, we want to do for them, you know. So I'm going to actually join you on your show. You know, I don't know if I'll be dancing right now with my hip, but, you know, I really want to be part of your 5 o'clock tequila time, you know.
Oh, I hope you come and ask questions. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
You know, I really believe it's not how you start life, it's how you finish. And that you have to look at all the negatives of your life as your opportunities. I've written 3 books about growing up with a violent alcoholic father. And when I wrote my first book, which was just a major bestseller, it's called Keeping Secrets.
Mhm.
It was on the New York Times bestseller list, #1 for 16 weeks, and then became a movie. Because no one had ever talked about the alcoholic experience from the perspective of the one who did not drink alcoholically, and what we were screwed up, but we didn't have an excuse because we weren't alcoholic. And I realized in writing this book that my childhood, I didn't realize I spent more nights of my childhood hiding with my siblings in a locked closet than sleeping in my own bed. Now, my younger brother didn't survive it. He died. I, as my father would berate me in his drunkenness, who, by the way, who I love and who I've forgiven, but he used to say, "You're stupid, you're hopeless, you're worthless, you're nothing, you're a big O." He would do that. And you know what I felt inside? Even as a little girl, I think, yeah, well, I'll show you. So many, many years later, after he had sobered up, he drank alcoholically for 45 years, and he sobered up. And I'm a headliner at the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas. Big success. Sold out 2 shows every night in that big room. And one night, my parents were in the front row, so I called my dad up on stage. And he was sober now. And I didn't have to say it. I didn't have to say, "I showed you, didn't I?" It was just, there he was on stage with his daughter, who is responsible for all the success in this room. And I thought, life has a way of balancing out and teaching us all what we need to know in life. So learning the "I'll show yous" by having that terrible alcoholic father has been the impetus and the drive for my entire life. So when I got fired from Three's Company, which I will always feel was wrong, I'm over it, but at the same time, when I think about it, I think how foolish they were, because they didn't want me to negotiate a contract, which had to be negotiated. It was the 6-year mark. All the men at that time were making 10 to 15 times more than I was making, and I'm on the #1 show, and I had the highest demographics of any woman in television. And the character that I played, Chrissy Snow, is iconic and still is a factor in today's world. When I live in Palm Springs, we call it the gay 90s. You either have to be gay or 90 to live here. So when they have the gay parade, I can't tell you how many guys dress up as Chrissy Snow or as the Thigh Master lady in the gay parade.
Right.
All these things are opportunities, all the negatives, all the dark times of our life. You can either feel sorry for yourself and say, "Poor me, why me?" Or you can say, "Okay, how can I learn from this? How can I grow?" And if you choose the latter, you will win. You will win.
I mean, I truly just listening to you, and I mean, but even my research of just reading a lot of things that, I mean, basically was about books and stuff, and here going on and on. I mean, what a journey. But I think that's why you are who you are, because you believed, and you were not going to be, you're not that zero, you're not that person. I mean, you are who you are. And I believe that's that heartache just alone. And I mean, and even more, I mean, I think, and there's probably a lot of women out there that don't even know how to move forward from a lot of things that they have gone through. But I think that really made you. I mean, besides be, Christy on Three's Company, do you still do that snort? Or do you still laugh? But I think besides
me
what
and that Urkel copied me.
Okay, but I think really what made you, but I think what really made you was from the time you were born and given this life and this journey, and maybe that was what your plate was given, and now you have you've gone through an incredible life and you haven't stopped. And I mean, look at you. I mean, wow. I mean, I don't even know what else to say, because I mean, you're just fantastic. I mean,
thank you.
I mean, gosh.
I almost feel like getting fired. The God of my understanding said, okay, here's the plan. I needed to get you famous enough so that you could do the rest of the work you're supposed to do. If you stay with this show, you're just going to keep grinding it out. And so we got to go through this traumatic thing right now. And man, it was hard. Can you imagine having, I couldn't have done better. I nailed that character. I brought all this publicity to the show. The producers of the show had decided before I came on that John Ritter was the star. When my fame overtook his with magazine covers and 60 Minutes and the cover of Newsweek and Barbara Walters and all this, rather than celebrating me for all the press I was bringing to the show, it made them mad at me. So when Alan went in for this negotiation, and he had gotten a call the night before from a friend of a friend who is a CFO at ABC, and he said, "You didn't hear this from me, but they're going to hang a nun in the marketplace, and it's going to be Suzanne. They're going to use her to make an example, so no other women will have the audacity to ask to be paid commensurate with the men." So that was a pretty hard blow to take, but in retrospect, I had to reinvent. My husband and I decided we would never work for anyone ever again, even though I did do Step by Step, and I loved Tom Miller and Bob Boyette, who were the producers. But if that show ended, it didn't make any difference in my life. I was already making my own money over here and over there, and Alan and I had created the brand, and we're having this great time together. And we decided that we needed to walk away from Hollywood. No woman supported me when I was fired, not one. Now, probably they were afraid, and I understand that. And at the time, women kept a lid on. But somebody had to be the first one. Someone had to say, "Hey, how can I be the number one woman in TV on the number one show, but the men make 10 to 15 times more than me? How does that work?" Someone had to do it, but they had to shut me up. But it forced me to reinvent. That's when the first product we had was the Thigh Master. Then I went to Vegas, and I remember in 1987 walking on the stage as Las Vegas Female Entertainer of the Year, along with, listen to this, Frank Sinatra, who was Las Vegas Male Entertainer of the Year. Can you imagine?
No, oh my gosh.
Coming from that closet I used to hide in, standing there with him. They used to call me Kid. "Hey, Kid, how you doing?" And when Sinatra was in town in Vegas on Sunday nights, it was like somebody turned the lights on brighter. When he was there, it was incredible. And on Sunday nights, he would call all the headliners up and down the strip to come to his dressing room after their second show. So I'd go to his dressing room, and there would be Sammy Davis and Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and Rodney Dangerfield and Liza and Shirley and George Carlin and like these people. So one night, Frank comes over to me, he goes, "Kid, you got a good sound." And I said, "Thanks." He said, "You're not breathing right." No G. "You're not breathing right." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, you're singing like all those singing teachers teach you, singing from your diaphragm." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You got to sing from your peep." I said, "What's your peep?"
Yeah.
He said, your peep. He said, "You pull the air from your peep and you push it out in your back wings. He said, you'll be amazed how much better you sing." And do you know what? He raised me an octave on top and an octave below. I got the greatest singing lesson from Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
So now I have a singing peep.
There you go. You got to, I hope that you have that added to your biography or your something about, I have a singing peep. I mean,
Actually, that's a good book title, isn't it?
Actually, there you go. Yeah, see what happens when, women talk and you talk. Absolutely.
Title is everything. My best sellers are about the title. Keeping Secrets was number one. Toxic was number one. The Sexy Years was number one. I can go through the books I've had. I've written 27 books. The books that I've had that have gone to number one and stayed there are all because the titles are great.
Wow. Okay, I have like someone waving to me going, "Oh my gosh, we're like almost out of time." Okay. Which you and I we'll all have to get together on tequila time and
two
really
come to
talk
Palm
about a
Springs?
whole lot, because I think there's a whole lot of us in common here, with
You come to Palm Springs?
no, but you know what? Now I have a reason to. I actually want to move
you
out.
come
I'm
down
thinking
here,
about.
you
I
can
really want
expose
to
me.
move maybe out there. A lot of people keep saying
It's great.
Dawn and I
Zero.
should move out there. So it's a possibility. So then, there we go. But what? Okay, so I have to wrap it up, which is really you and I can just feel like I can just talk and learn so much more about you. What is next coming? I mean, what I don't. What comes after
Zero.
all of this?
What's
Besides,
next?
huh?
Because I put my husband, Alan Hamill,
I
on,
guess I'm next.
Oh, thank you for joining us. I
on
mean,
hormones.
you know,
This is-
I
this
mean,
is
I had my husband. He needed to come. He actually does come with me on my show, so it's kind of really nice, like y'all too. But
But
what
we
is next
love-
for both of
We
you?
would love to invite the two of you to come over to Big Al's bar here if you come to Palm Springs, and we'll have a really good time.
You
And
got it.
my husband on hormones is the horniest 84-year-old on the planet. Really, it's too much already.
Oh my God! You know what? I have to say I would not complain, because there's a lot of probably single women out there that are like, "What am I? What's wrong with me?" So that's on
by
that
the way,
note.
can
I
I
would
tell
not
you one-
complain on that note. I think
Can I
that's
tell you
like
one thing that you're going to thank me for?
okay.
What happens, you get your hormones balanced, and then you still don't quite have, as the years go by, the sex drive you want. There's a new peptide called PT, peptide 141.
Okay,
Just trust me.
I'm gonna look that one up. There you
Just
go.
trust me.
PT 141.
Be ready to
Okay,
stay home.
PT 141, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna go.
Yeah.
This is all,
It's in
folks.
my
This
book.
is all
And
because of
Terry Hertog, Dr. Terry Hertog from Belgium, told me about it in my book, A New Way to Age. It's in there. And
Okay.
wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm gonna read that book. Okay. So what else is new? I mean, we're coming out to visit. We're having drinks.
Okay.
We're hoping
Yeah.
to move out
Great.
there. You never know. Then you'll be
You probably
you
will.
won't be
Once you
sick.
get here,
We're
you
gonna
stay.
maybe reinvent. And I mean, again, also reinventing yourself is
You have to.
and you have to. And I think as I try to
Otherwise you fade
reinvent
away.
myself all the time. I had
Yeah.
Say
long
goodnight.
hair. I cut it all off. Okay, they're telling me I have to go. So you know what? Okay,
Cheers.
guys, this is our 5
Bye.
o'clock.
Great
Toast
talking
to
both.
you.
Donald,
And you know
good
what?
talking to you.
I cannot thank you so much for being part of my show.
Thank
You have.
Congratulations on this creative endeavor you're in.
I
It's
did
really
it during
good.
COVID just because, and kind of wanted to bring out people that had special techniques. And
Yeah.
it's not about beauty, or what you look. It's about the beauty inside and how you help someone. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not how anyone can look how they want to look, but it's really, you're only going to look that way as if you actually feel good about yourself and if you love
Yeah,
yourself
exactly,
at the end of the
exactly.
day. I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm going to end my quote tonight with Suzanne, I would sit there and say, we both love ourselves. We've gone through a lot of
Yeah.
experiences that made us who we are. We are that stronger woman today, and and a lot of women back there, I think, were afraid not to really help out there. But that, look, we did it. There's no zero, as you would say, because we're accomplishing, and we're going to keep striving, and we're going to keep going. And I know I'm not going to see the end of you, because I know you've got more stuff coming out, and we really look forward to coming out to see you. And
Thank you.
mwah!
I love that.
Thank
I
you
love that.
so much.
Okay.
So
You're invited.
you
Bye.
got it.
Bye-bye.
All
Bye.
right. Stay
Bye.
healthy.
Stay healthy.
Wash your hands.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. She's off. That was actually a really good show.